It is Championship Tuesday for the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series Season 7. 23 hard-fought weeks have all come down to this. The Championship 5 field is set with all their permutations and ready to battle one last time here at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening. And we're excited to bring you live coverage from virtual Fort Worth, Texas. And last time out, it was non-playoff driver Drake Carty dominating the field at Phoenix, proving that he would be a force to be reckoned with should he have made the Championship 5. Will a playoff spoiler reign supreme again tonight as the Championship 5 all work on one another for 500 big ones? Or will the cream rise to the top one last time? JB, welcome to the Texas Motor Speedway. We have a starting grid to get through real quick, and there they are on your screen. It is Championship 5 driver Lane Doyle on the front row with Jason Green to his outside. Connor Cunningham starts third. David Flanagan, one of the Championship 5, starts in fourth. Teammate to pole sitter Lane Doyle and Championship 5 driver James Shanewell starts fifth. Drake Carty, P6. Ben Park in 7th, Scott Kalal 8th, Andrew Harris 9th, and Jason Kratke the top 10, JB.
Just getting things pulled up here, so give me just a second. We were on 10th, weren't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, 11th, Sean Merriman. 12th, Chris Luttrell. 13th, Joe Ruggles Jr. Jeffrey Radke, 14th, and 15th, rounding out the field, is Mr. Daniel Park.
So that is how the 15 drivers who appeared this evening will do battle one last time tonight. There is the field. They are working their way down the back straightaway for the last time behind the safety car before the race goes green this evening. JB, it has been a fun ride to this point of the season, and we are getting ready to crown a champion this evening.
I'm ready. The champion's going to get $500 richer. There's a lot of things that are going to happen tonight. We're going to be talking about it all night. It just so happens to be, Emerson, my favorite racetrack we're at tonight as well. Completely unbiased, but it's just how it works out.
That's just how it works out. So here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane for potentially the final time this season. Green flag is in the air, racing from the championship finale in Fort Worth. Truck in the wall, that's Jason Green in trouble. Up in the fence goes the 55. Somebody cutting across the grass, that is Ben Park.
Oh, Ben.
No! Oh, hard into the inside retaining wall, and the caution comes out.
I think he caught the end of the tire barrier there, Emerson, because the safer barrier ends and the tires take over, and I think, unfortunately for Mr. Ben Park, that's what happened. What a vicious hit. A lot of action there on that opening lap.
Yeah, so Jason Green contacted by David Flanagan, gets into the fence. Ben lifts a little bit, then a little loose off the corner, gets the grass in the quad oval. JB goes hip jump and skip across the grass and into the inside tire barrier there at pit exit.
And it's just, when you get in that grass, it's hard to regain yourself, and you kind of saw Ben just not be able to get that truck back underneath him quite. So unfortunately for him, that not how he wanted to start what is the last race of the season. Good news for him and his teammate who had trouble. They won the team championship this year by a lot of points.
Oh my
that
goodness.
Park Brothers Racing team.
Oh my goodness. Jeffrey Radke almost had his season come to an end right there, JB. Goodness gracious, you've got to see this.
And that's one of our championship contenders.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so that's just how quickly things can change. But
check this out.
You know,
there's Ben off in the grass there on the left side, and watch this. my!
I mean, and I'll give him credit there. Great job by not overreacting, because that's really easy to do there. You have to make a decision about what you're going to do really quickly there. And so he did a good job of just kind of moving up just a little bit, but not panicking in that situation. Because you're right, Emerson. That could have been the end of his championship hopes. And you know, he's someone that's won a championship here in Speed Racing Network before, so he knows what it takes.
That he has, and name's Shane Wolf trying to stay connected to the session. There he is. So, JB, winning does not automatically solidify you the championship tonight, because we had a race last week that was also part of the championship 5. However, that is 5 bonus points should you get the win, and
Correct.
There's a ton of bonus points up for grabs tonight. Lane Doyle has collected 2 of them.
Yeah, that's a really big piece, Emerson. This year we decided to go from a single championship race to what you would see in NASCAR to a dual championship race round, which, because it's a dual round, the winning, you know, it can't necessarily lock the championship up, because you could have drivers win each race. So because of that, we're left with the situation that we have to count points. But all season long, the winner of each race has gotten 5 bonus points. So that is all left in. Same bonus point structure we've had with the leading laps, leading the most laps. Getting the pole is 2 bonus points. That's a big factor as well. And so basically what that does is it just makes it to where, hey, you just got to beat the other 4 guys within 2 weeks. And at 2 completely different racetracks as well.
Yup. Oh, yeah.
Well, keep an eye on Shane Wolf. Emerson, you just alluded to a second ago his connection troubles. I've seen that truck blink a few times under this caution as well, so kind of just keep an eye on that. Somebody who's right in the thick of the championship battle, and sometimes your equipment, now this is virtual, but you still have your physical computer equipment, can fail you. So it's just something to keep an eye on there.
Absolutely. And so here we go, the field working their way through turns 3 and 4. And we'll be trying this tonight. I'll be trying to keep tally of the championship 5. You got a little graphic there next to the ticker. I'll do my best. But Lane Doyle leading by a couple points now as he heads into the restart zone once again. Green flag is in the air. Racing resumes from Texas. Lane Doyle continues to lead here at Texas now over Connor Cunningham. Connor wants to play a little playoff spoiler. He goes to the inside of the 47. 3 wide for third between Shane Wolf and Flanagan and last week's winner, Drake Carty.
This is a racetrack too, Emerson, where things can get strung out rather quickly. So if you're trying to make a lot of hay, pass a lot of trucks, you have to do it early on in the run. You can tell up here in the front sticks, at least, they're quite aggressive swapping positions. Well, couldn't quite fit in the hole there on the bottom. You do want to get to the bottom as quickly as possible because it just helps you save so much more tire. The truck is much more comfortable down there. So Lane Doyle now is the one that's hung out to dry.
So David Flanagan takes the lead of the Championship 5 drivers, but is not the championship leader via points. Shane Wolf and Doyle right behind. They are still contesting for the top spot. Right now, they would be tied, or excuse me, Shane Wolf is now taking the lead over Lane Doyle as a result of Doyle falling down the running order. So right now, Shane Wolf is leading the championship, all while Connor Cunningham leads the race.
And that's going to be something that's going to just flip up and down all night, especially if the 2 trucks at the front pass each other in those points, because that's 2 points, and, you know, between those 2 spots when they flip. Another thing that's going to be a thing we has to be kept an eye on is, yes, the champion gets paid, but so do the rest of the spots. And some of these guys are still fighting for, 6 through 10, and even the backside of this top 5. There's a large money difference between each spot. So if you can go get one more finishing spot in the standings, it's worth it. So it's not, obviously the championship's the big prize everybody's racing for, but there's a little bit more to it as well.
Oh, Shane Wolf hits the apron nearly up into the Jack Shack number 5 Toyota Tundra to his outside. Very tight racing as they body slam for a second. Now, James does not need to contest David Flanagan that hard right now. David Flanagan, although he's a Championship 5 driver, had a rather, well, not as good of a performance as Shane Wolf did at Phoenix. So James can let Flanagan go and still lead the championship.
Yeah, a little crossover move here.
Oh,
The 5 gets up the track a little bit. Shane Wolf does a good job giving him plenty of space. But I would be a little cautious, too, if I were the driver of the 5, because the 14's had a little bit of connection trouble. And that code exists, and sometimes you just don't want to get too close. But lucky for both of them right there, no issues thus far, but some pretty tight racing.
And JB, if you were James, right, you'd let the 5 do his thing, right? If it's gonna get that physical, especially when you're not, you are competing against him, but not directly when it's heads up like this right now.
And also you have to race what the track's giving you. And Texas is a track where it kind of plays to the longer game a little bit better. And so I would give up a little bit early on just to know how much I can get later on, especially if I do a good job of saving my stuff. And also, if you're in the Championship 5, the last thing you want to do is take yourself out of contention by getting an incident early or anything like that. So, tight racing early on right now, but, I think both drivers also in the back of their mind saying, hey, we got a lot of racing left to go, still over 100 laps to go in this championship battle, so I don't have to win it right now.
We're right on board with Connor Cunningham. He looks back at 3 very hungry Championship 5 contenders here, JB, all braving down the tailgate of the 24 machine. Connor doing a great job with clean air. Oh, but James Shane Wolf trying to stay connected to the session is also going to play huge factors in this battle.
Yeah, he's blinking a little bit here, and race control is going to keep an eye on it, but he's doing a good job of giving drivers plenty of space, which is going to kind of help him on that endeavor, but if you're going to be right around him, you got to be a little bit careful.
And JB, I'll pick your brain a little bit since you do run this puppy. That's a really hard spot that Jim is being put in right now. Championship 5 driver battling for the championship lead and is blinking. How do you honestly, and I guess consciously, force him to back out of the pack? Should it come to that point. Now, right now it's stabilized. But
and what makes it even tougher is that's not necessarily a rule in the rule book that's black and white, right?
Right.
We know with the changing lanes before the start-finish line, the rule is black and white. We know that jumping the restart's black and white. We know clearing black flags is black and white. But this is the one call in our rule book that we try to take all subjectivity out of is still subjective. And so because of that, it puts race control, specifically our buddy Jim, in a really tough spot. He does an incredible job, has all season. Just want to give a shout out to Jim and what he's brought to SRN. Somebody from the outside we brought in this year to help us on the race control side. He's done such an incredible job. So we really appreciate his services to us. And I don't want to be him right now because that's a tough decision you have to make, because you could possibly take the championship out of his hands. But I trust our race control to do whatever is needed to make the right call. But that's why we pay him the big bucks.
So racing continues. Flanagan is cleared into second position. Now Shane Wolf under attack by Drake Carty. Carty not also a driver competing for the championship, although he did win and dominate last week. Drake Carty winning upwards of 12 seconds over some of these Championship 5 drivers, JB, and that was one of the stories we talked about leaving leaving Charlotte, JB, was Drake Carty, dominant force on the season. Yes, this is her season, but so many wins racked up and not competing for the championship.
Yeah, and how many years have we seen in NASCAR Denny Hamlin win 5, 6, 7 races in a season and not be in the championship 4?
That's
It
right.
just happens that way, and that's just the product of the formula. Me as a racing purist, of course, I would just love to see the traditional point system, be king. But that's not what sells on TV anymore, Emerson, or the new race fans. So, but the thing I give him credit is, even though he's not in the championship battle anymore, he's still showing up every week and driving hard, getting that weekly money that he has the chance to win, and just kind of furthering his SRN career. And so that's kudos to him on doing just that. And we're having a battle up front start to tighten up.
I also want to mention, we will take a look at that battle for lead as Flanagan is, oh my goodness, all over the tailgate of the 24. Quick note on the championship 5, both Merriman and well, we'll get to that in a second. Here goes David Flanagan to the inside on Connor. Connor way up the track. Flanagan gonna make easy work at a 24. David Flanagan takes the lead. Now, JB, this is a lot here. Flanagan getting a lap led, and should Flanagan win the race, that is 5 bonus points. That could really make things really tight at the end of it, JB.
Yeah, that could be the kicker. So that's something we are gonna have to keep an eye on for sure.
But the other kicker, JB, what I was going to get to, Sean Merriman and David Flanagan have both already lost their clean driver bonus today. They have both had an off track tonight.
Yeah, and that's a bonus point too. That makes a difference. So I tell you, every little facet of this race adds up, and that's what I kind of like about points deciding it at the end, because there's multiple elements at play here. It's not necessarily you win the race. It's, okay, did I have a clean race? Did I lead some laps? Did I win the race? Like, all those factors playing together in total points. And Connor's going back for the lead here.
Connor right down to the inside. He's going to power by to 5. And how about it, JB? It is 2 playoff spoilers and David Flanagan trying to fight for his title life going on here in the top 3.
What I liked about Connor is when he got passed by the 5 the first time, he knew the 5 kind of had position on him and let him go. The 5 really got Connor loose off a 2. He was able to get underneath him in a 3, and that's just the perfect way to set up a pass here at Texas. But you saw Connor way up the track at 3 and 4, kind of regroup and, drive right back by him, and now he's kind of setting sail and the battle's on for second.
And Lane Doyle, by the way, JB, has recuperated his lost momentum. He's gotten back by Shane Wolf. And as a result, even though he's right here in 4th, at the moment, Lane Doyle has 3 spots on James Shane Wolf, which is good enough for the championship lead tonight.
And you talk about a driver who, if a track's going to play the long game, where the long green flag run is king, you're going to look towards Lane Doyle every time, right? I mean, how many races have we been in, Emerson, where it's like, okay, 20 laps into a run, oh, he's made up a few spots, 30 laps into a run, nope, he's knocking on the top 5, and then 40, 45 laps in the run. Yep, he's asking for the lead. It's his style of racing. He does a really good job of it. He, is one of those drivers that just picks his way through the field nice and clean, and that's going to pay dividends at the end of the day. And so far tonight, it's even though he lost that position early on that restart, he's getting back up there.
Now he's in some trouble, JB. He's catching up Drake Carty. Drake Carty is struggling to stay connected to the session.
Yeah, that's bad blinking right there. I wouldn't be surprised if race control gets involved in that one, because that's pretty egregious and dangerous if you're the 47.
Dangerous, and that's distracting. That could be definitely holding him up from the top 2 right now. So on board with Lane Doyle. I mean, how do you stay focused with that? My goodness. And then 1 minute, you're right, JB. It could be dangerous. You have no idea if the 59, gets into the fence and then drops right down in front of you, because you can't really see him.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game because you could go to try to pass, and all of a sudden he disappears. And then you're like, uh-oh.
Welcome to the show, Andrew Harris, into the top 5, JB.
Park Brothers Racing action. Like I was saying earlier when we had all that going on, Park Brothers Racing team won the team championship this year by a ton of points. And that's why we really never touched on the team championship, even though it's a big aspect of Speed Racing Network. It just wasn't a battle all year long, which I give credit to the Park Brothers Racing team. They show up every week. They put in some practice, and they work together. And there's always one of them running up front. And right now you got 2 in the top 5. Connor, who's kind of led most of this race so far, and then Andrew Harris here knocking on the back door of the top 5. So really shocked that there's no championship representative from that team. They just didn't have the luck in the playoffs that's needed to make it happen. But kudos to them for winning the season-long points battle as far as the teams are.
Connor Cunningham leading here at Texas. David Flanagan hot in pursuit. James Shane Wolf trying to chase that, was just overtaken by Jeffrey Radke. Radke on his way up.
Yeah, Radke, another guy that's competing for the championship here, has championship race experience in Speed Racing Network before, winning one of them very recently,
Yep.
2 seasons ago, I believe.
Correct.
And so he's got the chops to make it happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if we talk about him a little bit more as this race continues to progress. Notice Shane Wolf, though, kind of slid back there, Emerson, and my thought is, when you're having those connection issues, it can be distracting, too. You're not on top of your game because you're worried about, okay, am I about to just lose connection completely? And that little bit of distraction can hurt you in performance, and it also could result in him just playing a little bit safer, knowing, hey, if I don't get next to anybody and have more connection issues, I still have a chance at the championship, but if I put myself in a bad spot, it could be trouble.
Battle here. Shane Wolf right back by Jeffrey Radke, and battle for the top spot. Flanagan and Connor Cunningham doing battle once again, and here comes Drake Carty.
Carty thought about 3 wide there, but thought better of it, and that's probably a good idea as well. Connor got really loose in turn 3 and 4 and just allowed the 5 to drive underneath him, but Connor's not just going to give it up here.
No, he's not. Connor way up the track now. Connor trying to put the 24 back out in front, around the outside. The battle continues here from the Lone Star State. Connor Cunningham rising back to the occasion as he passed the quarter mark in this race and clears back to the race lead.
I really like that move in 3 and 4 because you don't see that a ton here at Texas, but I guess you would consider that the 3rd groove. Really made that 3rd groove work nicely because he seemed very loose on the bottom, and so you see him now running like half a lane up. I think that's just by design. Ooh, Carty gets the wall.
Carty in the fence. Doyle has to scatter. Doyle up high. And now can the 47 keep that thing under him as Carty somehow keeps that 59 going straight.
He did get the wall pretty good, Emerson, so that's probably going to be a little bit of damage on that thing. But good job by Elaine Doyle not to just kind of pile into him. That's very easy to do in that situation.
And he could have easily overreacted.
5 as well on that. So that could have had championship implications.
Not again.
He gets over in there. Yeah.
Oh, now this is getting really dangerous.
To say.
And Lane Doyle, he wants to get back by this yesterday.
Yeah. If you're racing for a championship and you have this going on around you, you want to get out of Dodge as quick as possible. Yeah, really impressed with Connor Cunningham. We've seen him get out of shape multiple times, give up some time, but then just get back to the lead and go about his business again. So doing a really good job kind of pacing the field and keeping that truck clean, which is one of the most important parts. Because like we've seen Carty bounce off that wall on the exit of 4. That's easy to do here. That wall sticks out quite a bit. And because they're blue in color, sometimes it can be a little harder to see as well.
One of the championship 5 is in, JB. Sean Merriman.
Oh, this is the first of our championship drivers and the one that kind of needs the biggest night.
I was going to say,
he's going to throw a little bit of strategy. Yeah, I'm thinking so. I'm thinking he goes, you know what, 3 sets of tires. I'm going to break this up how I see fit and see what happens. I mean, I'm looking at the tire fall off too. It's about 1.25 seconds right now, kind of depending on clean air and what you're around. So kind of almost legging to 1.5 seconds as we get deeper in this run. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
Whoa! Getting physical for P4 is Carty and Harris. Oh, baby.
Are you surprised? Two of the
most aggressive drivers. Yeah.
Right. It's gonna get physical. It don't matter if it's a half-mile track or a 2-mile oval. Those guys are gonna find a way to trade a little paint.
Yeah, they are. My goodness.
But I was saying with the fall off strategy.
Oh, look at
if this
Carney
race
taking him to
continues
the
green-
apron.
Oh wow, that's big.
And Harris playing no games. He keeps his nose in there, JB. This battle for fourth. Getting hot and heavy.
It's impressive.
The other championship 5 driver not really having to bet. Oh, my goodness. Andrew Harris in defense as Jeffrey Radke is on pit lane. Sean Merriman finds himself 1 lap down. What is the play for Jeffrey Radke, JB?
I think if he can stay on the lead lap here, which I think he might just be able to pull off, he gets off pit road in time. The leader's coming around right now.
Connor off of 4, and I don't
think he's going to be enough.
Connor's kept his foot in it. He's not required to back off. There's not safety vehicles he's got to buy to, but Radke is going to get lapped as Connor catches the safety vehicle. And we have to now go deduce what happened. We saw it about to happen.
Yeah.
Right as we cut away. But JB, it was only a matter of time between these two.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. And it kind of looks like to me on first glance when I first saw it, it's kind of like when the trucks touch doors and get stuck together. We've seen it a couple weeks now, and that's kind of what happened again there. But I think this kind of started, Emerson, with the physicality and then that block to the apron on the backstretch. I think these guys just weren't going to give each other an inch.
Oh, my goodness. Nearly up and over for Andrew Harris.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of shocked about there. That was a little bit of airtime, and luckily stayed on all 4 wheels. And it was a good lick for Andrew, but I don't think it was terrible. I think that truck will be able to continue. The pace, we'll have to see, but not terminal damage to the 87 for sure.
Oh, man.
And that's what, too, Emerson, these dogleg racetracks like Texas and Atlanta, it gets real funky there on these doglegs. And, sometimes there's a little disagreement of space right there. And unfortunately, most times the truck on the bottom's the one that's going to pay the price just because of where they come into contact with each other.
So Connor wins the race off pit road. Lane Doyle, P2. David Flanagan, P3. James Shanewolf, P4. And JB, both Merriman and Radke. Merriman got the lucky dog, but Radke be getting the wave around.
Yeah, he will get the wave because everybody else has to pit for sure. That was just what he had to.
Well, battle for a
we'll
race
continue whenever
lead.
you're ready.
James Shane Wolf going against Connor Cunningham as they head down into turns 3 and 4. Shane Wolf trying to get that spot, which will put him back in the championship lead. He powers by to 24, and James Shane Wolf clears the race lead. Put him back out in the championship top running spot, and Connor tries to fight back hard. Also now, James Shane Wolf gets his first lap led on the night.
And teammate Lane Doyle, teammate Lane Doyle also
baby.
getting his word in here, but Connor's not racing these championship guys very easy, that's for sure.
He's not obligated to, but man, he really isn't cutting him any slack.
Yeah, but you're right, he does not have to, and so that's a big piece of the puzzle here. And now Lane Doyle's going to try to get his piece of second.
For Connor, he's trying to get his first win on the season. So it means a lot for Connor to get it done tonight. Shane Wolf and Lane Doyle, the teammates, now clear out 1-2. David Flanagan now working himself, trying to clear up to P3. And this is going to be hard for Connor now, JB, as Connor really going to contend dirty air for the first time tonight, really.
Yeah, he hadn't really had to deal with it because he'd been out front the whole time, or if he wasn't, it was for 2 laps. So
yeah, he went straight to
different. The front. Now battle for the lead and probably battle for the championship.
Yeah, this 5-point cushion right here, this is the swing. Lane Doyle taking the lead of the race, does take the lead of the championship. While they both have laps led tonight. Oh my goodness, the teammates nearly come together. That could have cleared the championship wide open for David Flanagan.
Yeah, we almost had a 3-way battle for the lead and for the championship, but they settle back down.
But man, if the teammates had come together right there out of turn 4, JB, that could have been really detrimental.
Yeah, that would have been awful. That would have been the worst case scenario, but still battling side by side. And as teammates, of course, they're probably going to give just a little bit extra room and keep it clean. But you have David Flanagan sitting right there, and he's like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to go get what I can here. And he can kind of impact this battle.
For Flanagan, he does have to win to even have a shot mathematically at the title at this moment. For Shane Wolf or Doyle, they can finish second and still win the championship if Flanagan's the winner, if math works out their way. And math is going to be the topic of all of this tonight. Now, Jeffrey Radke has emerged into this battle. He's up to 7th. Sean Merriman not having the night he'd like. He is down in 11th position when it comes to Championship 5 drivers.
Yeah, Merriman, he needs the home run night. Unfortunately for him, that's just not how this is unfolded.
Andrew Harris has called it an evening and a season for that 87 machine.
Unfortunate ending for Andrew. He's had strong flashes this season. I kind of think back to his Dover performance being the big one. And he has a lot to be proud of and a lot to look forward to.
So James Shane Wolf right now in the lead of the race. Those 5 bonus points you would get for winning the race, JB, would be enough to outweigh, well, coming into today's race, 2 points ahead of Lane Doyle, plus the 2 points for pull, plus the clean driver bonus. Well, Shane Wolf also has a clean driver bonus, so it would just be the pull points. So Shane Wolf has right now the championship lead, but Lane Doyle takes the lead. He has the championship lead.
Yeah, that's just how much this can fluctuate. And you see the lap car there of Jason Green stays out of the way. Nice and wise.
For Flanagan, he needs the lead and a little bit of outside help right now. Flanagan, we need the lead and maybe Dan and Connor to pass both of the championship drivers and Doyle and Shane Wolf for Flanagan to mathematically win the title at this moment.
Yeah, these top 3 is really what this championship battle is shaking down to at this point. It is Bradkey still, mathematically could make it happen, but just how he's running right now, that's not not seeming to be the case, but we still have a lot of racing left.
Yeah,
Just getting to halfway right now.
Radke is still alive, and Sean, it's looking pretty grim for Sean Merriman.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Papa Sean's. We've
David
seen some
Flanagan?
great moments for Papa Sean's all year.
Man, that Michigan race, I went back and listened back to my own call. I don't know, normally go back and just listen to the sound of my voice, but the way that played out, it was so astonishing, and nobody thought that was going to happen. It played out perfectly for Sean Merriman.
Yeah. Shane Wolf back to the connection issues.
So David Flanagan on himself in second right now. And
Connor
trying
Cunningham's
to
starting to
Yep.
kind of creep back on up here. We were wondering how the dirty air would be for him because he hadn't really experienced it much all night, but looks like he's doing all right and is going to stay in touch with these top three to at least maybe have a say who wins the race tonight. And, well, for the 14 and the 47, somebody not named David Flanagan winning wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
You're right, but I think even... David came into today's race 6 points behind. So I think David winning, if they finish second, Doyle or Shane Wolf, still can win the title. It's if they finish third or fourth, that's where math starts to not play in their favor.
And then Flanagan also, he does not have the point of the clean race bonus as well. So
correct.
That drops him another point. So all this begins to factor into how this works out. And like you said, Emerson, it's the math.
and JB, another thing, the more laps Shane Wolf has out here, the more he catches Connor Cunningham's lap. Total is contact.
They both keep it straight, but that was dangerous.
And another thing to think about, I think when it comes to iRacing, JB, if Shane Wolf lags across the line, he does not get credited with leading that lap, I do believe.
Yeah, there are weird nuances like that, and that's just part of the virtual world, right? Where things can happen like that. And that could also play a factor into what happens. Because right now, Connor Cunningham wins the battle of most laps led. But as we continue to go, Flanagan's going to keep running that number up. And, well, that's another bonus point that's in play.
Yeah, so Connor, we don't have the exact number in front of us, but we could be safe and say about 35 to 40 laps is what Connor led, give or take. Yep. 35 probably. So
Connor's trying to get back up there too. He's not necessarily done leading laps, so yeah, that could still come back into play.
But if it takes Connor till lap 80, at that point Shane Wolf probably would have already tied Connor's lap lead count if Shane Wolf remains the sole leader. A lot of math. I don't know if math was your favorite subject in school, JB. It was mine. David Flanagan going for the race lead, and it would not be the championship lead if he passes Shane Wolf. He would need a little bit more, but going to get closer to the championship lead is David Flanagan.
Yeah, this is a battle right now that seems minor, but could play into the ultimate grand scheme of who wins the championship. And you can tell Shane Wolf doesn't necessarily want to give it up very easily. Tight racing as they go through 3 and 4. And Shane Wolf gets loose.
Big bobble
in the middle
there.
Of the corner.
Yeah, this is huge for that extra bonus point of leading the most laps. They both have led laps tonight now. Shane Wolf and Flanagan. That's not the battle anymore. It's who's going to lead more.
Yeah, exactly. And then Shane Wolf, too, has to be mindful of keeping that bonus point for the clean race is also important.
I wonder if he knows if Flanagan has been off track or not. That would also be intriguing.
Some drivers are really good at keeping themselves aware of what's happening around them, and some aren't. And some just want to focus on what they have going on. But Shane Wolf, with the connection issues tonight, I think he's got plenty to be worried about tonight. So probably does not have that, fact at the top of his mind. But he's the only person that would know. So still a really good battle up front, though. They have not left each other's sides.
Side by side championship drivers here at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh, loose.
David Flanagan takes advantage of James Shanewolf walking up the track. David Flanagan to the point. And now Flanagan needs a little bit of help. Maybe if Connor gets up there past Shanewolf, the math could start mathing in Flanagan's favor.
Yeah, and Connor just got by Doyle rather easily there. And so Connor's now going to set his sights on getting back up to the lead where he was before this latest restart. And that truck looks pretty good. That 24 is on the bottom and ripping, and Shanewolf is struggling to keep that truck underneath him.
So here goes Connor. Here comes lap traffic as well. This is going to be hard. Everyone
going to get up the track and try to get out of the way. Unfortunately, it's just not going to... The timing's not going to work out very well here.
So Green trying to stay down low. Connor trying to make it past James Shanewolf. And Flanagan under attack from Jason Green. Maybe Green trying to unlap himself now. Connor clears Shanewolf. And that could be what Flanagan needs. We'll have to do a little math to figure that one out. I think we need a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Flanagan needs another spot to be lost, I believe, because the tie would go to the best finish, which if Flanagan does win, that would be the tiebreaker.
I think right now they're tied, and right now Flanagan would have that tiebreaker. You're right. Here comes Lane Doyle. Doyle nearly into the side of his teammate.
That was sketchy. Jason Green's going to lay over here, let the leaders go by. Smart move.
But there's another truck right there. That's Drake Carty right ahead as well. This is getting very, very dicey for the leaders. And now David Flanagan continues to log laps. And don't forget, he stole some from Connor in the first stint as well, JB.
Mm-hmm. Connor right now, fastest car on the racetrack as well, which isn't surprising. I mean, we've seen him work his way up the running order here over the last 10 or so laps.
But
so probably a matter of time before he catches the 5. But if you're the 5, you're probably going to contest that spot with your life because that's your championship as well.
Importantly, JB, Shanewolf fastest lap of the day so far.
His trucks looked good except for just late in this run.
If Shanewolf holds fastest lap, Shanewolf wins the title at the moment.
Yeah, you got the bonus point factor in there, but then also it's just in the back of your mind, you keep the idea of, well, if we get back all on fresh tires, he's going to be the one that kind of
that's the other thing.
Is able to rip off the fastest lap, and
the last
going to be the most dangerous.
What do you do, JB, when you bolt on fresh ones? Do you go for fastest lap point, or do you save your tires and try to win the race?
And that's a new element that's been introduced in NASCAR this year, with the fastest lap being the bonus point, which I think is interesting because it was funny at Daytona and Atlanta. You saw a bunch of these smaller teams in the back just kind of backing up, getting in the draft, and taking a big run because that bonus point can mean a lot of prize money for them, whether they're in the top 30 or top 20 in points at the end of the year or during the year. And so because of that, every point makes a difference. And obviously here it means a championship, so it means even more.
Right now, JB, as Doyle takes third, Flanagan and Doyle, I believe, would be tied or 1 point to Flanagan. So if Shanewolf or Doyle is going to finish third and that team is still going to win the championship, Shanewolf at the moment, because of fastest lap, would be holding the title. But as Doyle sits in third, he also only came in 4 points ahead of Flanagan today. So that immediately gets erased with the 5 points that Flanagan has, plus 2 spots, so 7 points. Now Doyle has pole, so bring it back to 5. And clean race, so bring it back to 4. I mean, Doyle... Right now, the math is working a little bit in Flanagan's favor as Jeffrey Radke hits the pit lane, JB. This may be his Hail Mary.
Yeah, you could make it from here, but this is a long run on those tires. But maybe he's thinking, hey, pit now, get this out of the way. Mistake-free, start ripping off some fast laps. Oh, Connor real loose off 4. He almost went down in the pit lane, not intentionally.
but does Radke have another choice if he's going to win the championship, JB? That's the other thing.
With where he was running, Emerson, no. I think this is the decision you have to make. And hey, we've seen crazier things work, so it's possible. But yes, in that position, you have to try something because he just was not contending with these leaders on track.
So Sean Merriman, does he have one last strategy card to pull this season? For Papa Sean's chances at a championship, it looks really grim, and the math does not look to be mathing. But right now he runs 7th. As pit stops are underway, Jeffrey Radke, he needs to get himself a lap or 2 led, and he could do that with this massive short pit. That would be huge too, JB, if Radke snags some laps led.
Yeah. You know, he was right in the points mix, so he's still in there. He just needs to do something to help his finishing position to have any kind of chance. And you know, if you're not doing that on track, the only way you can is some strategy.
Joe Ruggles hits the pit lane. David Flanagan still leads. Well, at the moment, would be tied or 1 point ahead of Lane Doyle for the championship, as we had 40 laps to go. James Shane Wolf has started to fall a little off his teammate, as Flanagan continues to hang on out here.
Yeah, Shane Wolf, you could just tell that the tires started to go away a little bit quicker than everybody around him, and you saw him get looser and looser and looser in 3 and 4, and then he settled into 4th, hasn't dropped any further back, but he's lost a lot of time on the racetrack.
At the moment, JB, the way the math works out, and considering James Shane Wolf has the fastest lap, right now, it is a 3-way tie for the championship. If I'm doing my math correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. Of course, at the end of this race, we'll plug it in the computer and be sure about everything, but unofficially, yeah.
How crazy would it be? Shades of 2011.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Sean Merriman trying a different line. JB, I guess you got to try anything if you're Sean Merriman.
Yeah, just like Radke. I mean, you got to find some way to make it happen here.
For the Papa Sean's machine, trying to keep that truck alive more than anything. Oh my goodness, Jason Green's truck right there nearly gets collected by Sean Merriman and this whole group.
Yeah, that Jason Green truck has gotten slower and slower out there on the racetrack, and he did a good job staying out of the way the first time by, and then sometimes when that closing rate gets really high, it just gets a lot harder to stay out of the way, and good job by all those guys avoiding an incident there.
Doing the math, this is the totals I have. I have the graphic up. My goodness. as they run. I guess it would be Flanagan's title.
Yeah, and if you're him, all you have to do here is make sure you keep the lead. But Emerson, you know what's coming up. He's going to have to make a pit stop.
The final pit stop, yep.
And you have to make sure that you get on pit road clean. Don't wreck the truck. No speeding.
And here comes Connor.
Connor, yeah.
Which at the moment, right, gives Lane Doyle and James Shanewolf an extra point.
He's the first of kind of this lead group that we see come down. So I wonder if this will trigger also the 5, the 14, and the 47 to think of the same. And honestly, Emerson, if you're the 5, you have to be thinking to kind of match what Connor's doing, because if you're him with the point situation, you don't want necessarily him to jump you. So if you were already in front of him, the best thing you could probably try to do is match.
For David Flanagan, you are absolutely right, JB. He has to watch, because he has to win. He has to watch Connor as Shanewolf hits the pit lane. So James Shanewolf is coming in. And we'll see if James is able to make the last hoorah happen. Here comes his teammate Lane Doyle.
Yeah, whoa, sideways, but he
Big
collects
side.
it. Does a good job keeping it straight. This is it's an easy pit road to get on, but it can also be a hard pit road to get on because it just depends on when you choose to cross that little apron line. A lot easier to do it coming off the corner, but it gives you a lot less time to get on the brakes. And I'm hearing over the radio right now, Flanagan's going to come down pit road this time, so this will be our chance to watch the entry. I mean, you do give up some time. We'll see how it cycles out, but his job is to get on pit road clean here, and so far, so good.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Yeah.
Nice and smooth. Make sure you do not speed here. That's the key.
What's going on here now, JB, is Dan Park, Crystal Trust stay out, and Sean Merriman. If the 7 and 00 pit, Sean will get himself a point, and I mean, I don't know if there's any math to make it work out, but
yeah,
give himself some more math in his favor, you know.
Yeah, it's any way you can help. And like I said, Emerson, it might not be the championship, but maybe another spot in the points is still up for grabs as well.
Which is
that
more money.
It's different. Right? Yeah, exactly. But it's always in a pit cycle is when you have all that opportunity for other drivers to get a bonus point for leading a lap. So wouldn't be surprised if we see multiple drivers get that.
And Merriman is in. Oh my goodness, I think he might have nearly sped as well.
Now and Connor is coming through 1 and 2 right now, and I was just looking, Emerson, where the 5 was coming off pit road, and the 5 is still going to be in front
Connor
of the
sped.
24. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Connor.
We missed the black flag there. Sean Merriman got one as well.
He did. And Dan Park is in, JB. What this does, Jeffrey Radke is going to cycle out as the leader, JB, and he's going to nag some laps led.
And now you're Radke, you have to play defense, right? Because remember, he came in the very first to the part of that pit window knowing he could make it to the end. How long is it going to take for the 5 to catch him? That's the thing. I mean, there's almost a half-track difference between them right now with 27
You're right.
to go.
But, man, what is that? We're talking 10-lap tires? It's huge.
Yeah, 10-ish, but Emerson, that's huge right now, but think about equalization. You get further and further into this run.
There's cars they've got to get through. They got to get through Kratky and Kalal.
The last time by, Jeffrey Radke ran a 35.45. Flanagan ran a 30.705. So really no difference in lap time there, but the 5 could have been in a little bit of traffic. Last time by, Flanagan ran slower, but I think he caught a lap car. We'll get a better read on it here. Last time by for the 5, a 30.165. So that's half a second faster than Jeffrey Radke as they run.
And nobody has played the fastest lap car, JB. So right now, Shanewolf still holds fastest lap.
So as a leader, with the math for Radke, he still has a chance.
He has a chance, right? Because that puts him, he's got 5 extra. Call it 6, right? Because he got the extra spot. Mm-hmm. And then they both have clean and laps led. I think it goes Shane Wolf now with the fastest lap. And Doyle contending. Honestly, Doyle passing James Shane Wolf helps Jeffrey Radke in points.
Yeah, that's kind of big.
So Lane contending for the championship on his own. At
The
the
other thing
moment,
too, Emerson, if Radke leads the rest of this race, that's going to be really close to most laps led.
right. I think
So-
Connor would still have it, but barely.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
And then
sure.
don't even get me started on overtime.
Yeah, let's hope we don't get to that point.
Lots of math going on out here. The top 4 are Championship 5 drivers, and Sean Merriman unfortunately finds himself 2 laps down off the pace as a result of speeding. Connor Cunningham sped his way out of this race. Here we are with 23 laps to go.
Last time by, Lane Doyle 1 second faster than Jeffrey Radke. They're still about a whole set of turns away from each other with 22 to go. At that rate, obviously, the 47 would catch the 3, but as we keep going, Emerson, the tires equal out a little bit, so that time delta is going to get smaller. So I commend Radke on the strategy. It's actually a very bright idea because you looked at where he was running. There's no way he could do what everybody else did and have even a sniff. So doing something different to get himself some track position and put him in a situation where there's a possibility, that's all you can ask for.
That's all you can ask for. Absolutely. Give himself the chance. So Lane Doyle, if he can chase down Jeffrey Radke, Lane Doyle's in prime position to steal this championship away. Right now, Jeffrey Radke leads the race, and I think mathematically could also lead the championship.
Another thing Radke needs to just try to do as well, and he did right there with Carty, is when he encounters lap traffic, he can't waste any time. He can't afford to give up much on the racetrack. So every little bit matters. Kind of tracking to the distance between the 47 and 3. It continues to close. Again, another second that last lap. So we'll see how easy the 47 can by the 18 and 59. The problem for Radke right now is he has no teammate help out there.
That's correct.
So there's nobody that's really gonna make, and that's why it's kind of unfortunate sometimes when drivers from teams drop off and don't finish the season, because then they can't help their teammates win a championship. And unfortunately for Radke, that's kind of the situation he's stuck in right now. Checking time deltas just one more time. 0.8 of a second that last time by, the 47 to the 3. So it's getting tighter and tighter. These next 5 laps, that's going to be the big piece.
Did the math. This is what I have for points. Radke by 1 at the moment. Of course, this changes. If he loses the lead, he loses 6 points. So
Yep.
Radke, trying to be a 2-time champion in Speed Racing Network. With 17 laps to go, he's got a 1.7 second lead and quickly dwindling. Trying to hang on to what he's got. Maybe hoping for a race-altering flag would be his only play, as Lane Doyle continues to close the gap with 16 laps to go.
And Papa Sean's going to get a lap back here on the Radke machine. But that means the next man up would be the 47, and he is right there, Emerson.
He is a coming.
Caution.
Caution!
Yeah,
Oh
caution.
my goodness. Jason Green in trouble on the back straightaway, and that changes everything.
Well, we thought we knew what was going to happen. And now we just forget about all of it, and this is a brand new race. And honestly, for Jeffrey Radke, considering that the 47 was right on his doorstep, not the worst caution in the world if you're the driver of that number 3 truck.
That was probably the best thing that could have happened to him. Reset everyone. Everyone's got a set of tires, by the way, JB. Right?
Yep.
3 sets. So
yeah, they're going to come down and get him right here, and this is going to turn into a, when we go back green, probably about a 10-lap shootout.
Lazy slide for Jason Green on the bottom side of the racetrack, but here they come, JB.
For the leaders, just no penalties here. No penalties, because if you have to go to the tail end of the line with only 10 to go, that's unfortunately not going to be a recipe for much success.
So Sean Merriman, did he get scored? Get his lap back, JB? I think Sean Merriman might get himself back onto the lead lap with this too.
Yeah, because he got that lap back right before that caution. We saw him pass the 3 truck.
And the race on pit lane is Flanagan, Shane Wolf, Radke, and then Doyle.
Look at the pit stop times. 9-second stops for the 14 and the 5. So Emerson, is that 2 tires?
That's either 2 tires or, yeah, it has to be 2 tires.
2 tires or they've changed to the 1 lug system. I think that means 2 tires.
2 tire fire, as Joseph Kazi used to say.
So this got interesting now. Because
oh baby, oh baby!
2 of the fastest trucks that are going to start 1-2 on 2 tires. You have Mr. Steady, Lane Doyle, in 3rd on 4 fresh tires. Radke, who's just showed up at the exact right time on 4 tires. Oh boy. We're about to have an SRN Classic Championship battle here at the end, and unfortunately, I think the math is just going to start getting all over the place, and the computer is going to have to tell us who wins this championship.
It's going to be extremely hard to...
That's what technology's for.
Predict. Yeah.
The computer will help us. But yeah, there you see, going by the pace car, Sean Merriman. So, you never know. There's a lot of race left, but he's at least going to get back on the lead lap.
Well. With 13 laps to go, JB, the season all comes down to this. Man, oh man.
This is going to be an entertaining 11 laps. Probably some of the most entertaining racing we've seen all year. 12 laps, sorry, is what it's going to be.
So Radke, the only way he wins the title is winning the race. But James Shane Wolf, as a result of all this, has taken the championship lead. Here is the reset I can get before we go green. The math that I was able to get down. As Shane Wolf leads by 2 at this moment. That's about to all change, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. Here we go.
So the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane for what could be the final time this season. Green flag is in the air, racing from the Lone Star State. Down to the apron is Jeffrey Radke, trying to steal this title away. Radke needs to win and a little bit of extra help. And he's trying to now as he goes to second, 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, and those 4 tires, how quickly is he going to be able to get to the 5? Ooh, Shane Wolf almost made a dangerous move with Claw to his inside. How about Scott Kalal Emerson up here in the top 5? Scotty's making it happen late this season.
How about Jason Kratke? Right in there.
The SRN veterans are showing out. And here comes Radke. He's hunting.
Oh, Shane Wolf is sideways. Kalal's going around. Ruggles runs him over into the fence. The caution's back out.
Shouldn't have mentioned him.
Oh my
I
goodness.
am the thorn of bad luck.
Now JB,
Oh,
I don't think it's a off. Well, it's obviously not an off track, but the James Shane will just pick up an X right there.
let me look here at the system. Yes, he did. No more
Oh
clean race
no!
bonus. So that does make a difference.
James Shane Wolf has lost his clean race bonus.
The only drivers that have it still are Jeffrey Radke, Lane Doyle, and Jason Kratke. Obviously, for Jason Kratke, it doesn't mean too much. But for Lane Doyle and Jeffrey Radke, that means a lot.
Also, Shane Wolf lost more momentum. He's on 2 tires. Right now, this title's, I mean, Flanagan's leading, so I guess theoretically it is in his hands.
Yeah, but I'm worried about a
Radke and
second
Doyle,
restart on those 2 tires.
Radke and Doyle have the title in their hands more than anything. We'll have to go take a look and see what happened. I mean, we saw most of it live, if not all, but
Yeah. Hardy's going to go around the pace car, get his lap back.
here we go, down the back straightaway. And right down the yep, contacted there. And Kalal tried to save it. Honestly, Kalal had it saved, and Ruggles plowed in there.
Yeah.
Well, oh boy.
Yeah, I am worried. Emerson, I'm just thinking through the possibilities right here. And the 5, yes, I think he can get a good jump. But the problem is you keep getting more and more heat cycles on those other set of tires that you didn't replace. And I mean, in a lap and a half, we saw Radke right to his back bumper again with a huge jump on the restart from the 5. So, Radke's not 1-2 that's going to get incredibly physical. I don't think that's the way he's going to win it, but I think the 5 has a good chance of just kind of bobbling in a bad spot, and then Radke's kind of got to hope that Lane Doyle slides back a few spots if my math is correct. Because
look at that. That's my math.
Yeah. So he would need a little help as well, but getting up to the lead is objective number 1 if you're Jeffrey Radke, right? And so the rest is kind of up to, well, however it ends up falling.
Yeah, I have Flanagan and Doyle tied at 81 points. Shane Wolf now at 79. Radke at 77. Merriman actually comes up now to 64. That was not reflected in the graphic. There you are.
Well, we were like, it's about to get interesting. And it did, but it's about to get even more interesting here in a few seconds.
By the way, fastest lap. There you go. Just to show you who's got fastest lap point. Still James Shane Wolf.
That does help the 14.
But he did
and I don't think he's going to finish 5th either, so I think he's going to get a couple more spots. So this race is really going to turn into what the 47-3 can do here in the last handful of laps.
I also forgot to remove the clean point for Shane Wolf. So there, 3 points Shane Wolf has to gain back now. As we head in to the restart. We'll try it again. 8 laps to go. Green flag in the air, racing once again from Texas. David Flanagan fighting for his life. At the moment would be tied with Lane Doyle for the championship.
Lane Doyle trying to make that outside line work. He had good position. Oh, Shane Wolf. Here comes Shane Wolf. Into 1 and 2.
James Shane Wolf to the lead.
Oh my goodness, what a send into 1 and 2.
Now James Shane Wolf leads and has to fight his teammate for the championship. If the 14
in here.
If the 14 or the 47 win, they will win the championship. And around goes Lane Doyle.
Oh, just a little bit of contact. Oh, man.
Lane Doyle is spun across the front straightaway grass. And we could very well be facing overtime.
My goodness.
I don't believe it. Contact between Lane Doyle and David Flanagan when it matters most. Radke gets in there. And here we go, JB.
Really
Flanagan just trying to stick his nose in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're going for every inch right here. Maybe
Absolutely.
touching net code involved as well, but I mean, Emerson, this is for the championship with 5 to go. You're just not gonna give any space. And Radke almost drove clear in the back of the 2 trucks in front of him because he had one heck of a run getting into 3.
Wow,
did a good job of not doing that.
Oh, Dan in the fence.
Unfortunately for the 47, yeah, just that little bit of fence damage. He will be able to continue, but I believe now he's gonna need a lot of help to keep that championship run alive. But now, what's interesting is the 14 cycles out to the lead his teammate, so we'll see. But yeah, just every inch. Almost turned over there on the infield, too. Oh my gosh! Is that Dan Park?
Yeah.
That missed him right there? Wow, that's kind of what we saw the 3 do earlier in the race. Truck coming right up on the track right in front of you. Does a good job avoiding it. Unfortunately, he catches a little bit of the fence.
Check this on board with Flanagan. Trying.
Emerson, in your opinion, is he there? Is he inside, or is it still too far back?
I think
that's right on that edge.
I think Flanagan was trying to make the space. I don't think Flanagan had the space to take it, but I think he was trying to make the space, and just got a little.
Just got from race control. Flanagan, end of the line for the cause of that incident.
My goodness.
So they deemed that, just what you said, Emerson, he created that space, didn't necessarily have that space, and, well, unfortunately, that's going to be the call. Not the end of the world yet. There's a lot that can still happen, but it's going to make it more challenging for that 5 truck. He's probably going to have some questions.
Oh, my goodness. Well, this now appears to be James Shane Wolf's title to lose, pending Jeffrey Radke. Now, Radke does have 4 tires.
So now, Connor's back up here. So he could also steal this win again and change things.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be wild, Emerson, if the 2-round championship playoff round neither race was won by a championship 5 driver? Wouldn't that be something? It could possibly happen. But Radke now is the first one on 4 fresh tires again. So, I mean, still in play there for the 3 truck, and he's going to need help probably from the 14. But remember, the 14 is on 2 tires, so that's still possible as well.
So here's the sitch. If Radke wins, Radke's champion, I believe, and same thing for Shane Wolf. But Radke has to win. Shane Wolf does not to win the championship. Green flag is in the air. Who wants it more? 2 laps to go from the Lone Star State. James Shane Wolf out to the point. Connor Cunningham now tries to vie with the 14 for the top spot.
If you're the 14, you don't mind the 24 winning this race because that means the 3 would not. And you would still be the champion at that point. So how hard do you protect here?
Well, here we go. 1 lap to go. Connor's got to run.
Here comes Radke. Open for Radke. he's
Shane
gonna
Wolf's got to
send
worry
it
about
in
Radke.
there.
He cannot worry about the 24. Let the 24 go if you're James Shane Wolf.
Yeah. Exactly. Or just win the race, which
Or just win the
one
race.
more set of corners and he's gonna have it.
Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. James Shane Wolf came to play this season, and he is victorious in the Lone Star State. James Shane Wolf is your champion in the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series in its 7th season.
We don't need the math to figure that one out. You came in the points lead and you leave winning the last race. That's going to do it.
The winner of the race and the champion can celebrate anywhere he'd like to.
Cardi, they're giving him a little congratulatory regards, and Shane Wolf Emerson. We've interviewed him a lot this year. He won quite a few races, so a deserving champion, but one of the nice guys too. I mean, shows up every week and goes about his business in a great way. Is respectful. Really does a good job representing the series, and whenever you win, as many races as he did this year, you can confidently say that's a deserving champion.
And he blows it up. James Shane Wolf is your season 7 Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series Championship. James Shane Wolf, congratulations on a dominant season, getting it done. We knew you contended with connectivity issues all evening long, but when it mattered most, it was two-tire fire that saved you in the top spot when it mattered most. Congratulations, James, on the championship. How about it?
Appreciate it, man. I don't even know what to say. Probably sound like a robot right now. Like I said, I was running off my phone's hotspot, so I was surprised I made it through the race. There was that long green flag run there towards the end when we had the green flag pit stops. It was getting really bad, and I had every warning iRacing could give you on my screen. I was just waiting for my wheel to go limp mid corner or something and see the iRacing UI pop up. But that caution came out and literally saved me from losing connection from the race. Yeah, and the two-tire thing, I had smacked the wall and wanted to try to get as much damage fixed as possible. And I just went with 2 tires to try to do that, and worked a lot better than I thought. Radke took a dive on the last lap there, tried to get it underneath me, and I just didn't lift, and I figured I was going to go to the wall and be done. And man, it stuck like glue. So yeah, 2 tires work great.
It certainly did, James. This now would be your 5th victory on the season out of 24 races. I mean, what does that say about, the program that you put together? And I know you had a lot of, help and support from your teammate Lane Doyle, who unfortunately didn't really have a chance there at the end at this championship when it all mattered. But more to you and your results this season. What does that say about you finally getting a championship under your belt here in SRN?
Yeah, no, I owe a lot of it to Lane. He helped me out a ton all season, just with strategy calls and stuff like that. And I've also got to apologize to Lane. He said I blinked right there when he was behind me. I threw a block on him, and I felt like I might have been late. And he was like, "No, the block was fine." He was like, "But you blinked, and it kind of scared me, so I lifted a little bit to not wreck you." And then he ended up getting wrecked there. So So my apologies out to him. I wish it could have been different. I wish it could have been me and him battling it out right there at the end. Um, Same with Flanagan being up there. You know, the entire top five guys in points here were a blast, and they kept you on your toes. You know, you didn't get any breathing room all season long. So yeah, again, I owe all of it to Lane for sure. Other than driving my car for me, he helped me out so much this season. Probably honestly one of the best teammates I've ever had in any league on the sim. Just with all the information that he shared and stuff like that, and even with us battling each other for a championship, you know, he didn't keep any of that hidden. He still helped me out. He still continued to be a teammate, and that integrity says a lot about the person he is, with so much on the line here in SRN.
1000%. And now, James, the fun question: $530 is going to be getting sent to you here rather shortly. How about it? What you going to do with it?
Um, I don't know, man. I honestly, it hasn't sank in yet. Probably put a parlay together that'll fall apart, or I don't know, man.
And go for it,
I'll
JB.
say real quick, Emerson, James, on behalf of us at Speed Racing Network, congratulations on your championship. We were saying there at the end, just before we pulled you in the booth, one definitely deserving champion. I mean, any season you win 5 races and lead in as many races as you did this season, that's a cut of a good season, and you want a good season to result in a championship. So congratulations on that, and thank you for being a continued driver in our series. And how you go about it, because you definitely do it the right way, and we greatly appreciate it.
Man, you guys put on the one of the best series on the sim, and I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting right here. I'd say that if I finished 13th in points, I've always had a special place in my heart in SRN, even from back in the day with running the Xfinity series with JW Racing. Um, like this whole series is a class act. Everybody behind the scenes, you know, you guys do such a great job. Um, this league, it's more than a league, and it's more than competitors. It's a community, and the community as a whole is top notch, man. So I appreciate what you guys have built over here, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to come back and bringing me back with open arms.
Absolutely, man.
Well, James, I'll give you the floor here to shout out anyone and everyone you need to thank for getting your championship done this season in the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series and its 7th rendition.
I gotta thank Alex, just save you time. They're in South Hill, Virginia, for coming on board and sponsoring me this season. As well as, man, I'm all over the place right now. Give me a second. I'm sorry.
No problem. Take the time, man.
Adam Caps, Elite Entertainment. He's sponsored me since I really started on the sim. So he's been with me a very long time, partnered up with me. So appreciate him. John at Nifty Lift, Brian at Easler Electric, Underdog Fantasy. Use code ShaneWolf83 at sign up. You'll get 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Anybody else I might be missing, man? My family. My dad tunes in every week. He loves it. My old lady, just everybody, man. My kids watch it. My kids cheer me on. It's definitely sparked something inside my kids to want to get out there and race. And I used to race in real life myself, so yeah, that's really cool to see them wanting to kind of follow down that path. And a lot of it's because they watch all of these broadcasts and stuff that you guys put on, and it gets them all hyped up for it. So yeah, man. Everybody that's had a hand in helping me this season with this. Um, you guys here at SRN, everybody behind the scenes for putting it all together, putting up with us all year long. We can be a pain, that's for sure. But you guys did a great job. At the end of the day, there's a reason that this series is successful, and it's not because of the drivers. So yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Everybody that's a part of it.
Well, we greatly appreciate it, James, and I guess I'll let you know now. There was some difficulties with the broadcast tonight, but it is recorded and it'll be uploaded at a later time for sure. So there's still the coverage of it. It just may be a second, so I do apologize then. Uh, with it not being live. I know that.
That's all right. They'll
Yeah.
watch it still.
Yeah, there you go. But James, congratulations on your championship victory this season. I was around when you first came in, man, and I'll tell you, at that moment I didn't know that you had it in you like this, and you rose to the occasion this season. Absolutely, with 5 victories to your name and absolutely dominant performances in and out every week. You and the Outfront Motorsports group just come to play every week, and it turned out to a championship for you. And congratulations, man.
Appreciate you guys again, man. Thank y'all.
There it is, driver of the number 14 and our Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series Season 7 champion, James Shainwolf, in victory formation here at the Texas Motor Speedway. We now shift our attention to the other side of the story in the 3 machine of Jeffrey Radke. JB, I don't know if you've got anything, but go and lead us off.
Mr. Radke, welcome into the SRN broadcast booth. Congrats on your second place finish tonight. Strong showing all the way to the very end. We know you didn't get the championship that you hoped of, but you sure gave it one heck of an effort. You were the first truck on 4 tires. We kind of expected that to be the big piece that maybe propelled you to the win, but what more did you need tonight for the 14 truck?
I don't know. That last pit stop when we all pit, I probably should have thought better on strategy. I was just thinking 4 was the way to go. I probably could have took 2 there just to keep my track position, and ended up being all right for that last little stint since we had the next little run of cautions. It's just tough to predict stuff like that, and when you get the chance to get 4, you just put them on. So that was the way I went. Just not the win to move.
No, but still a second place championship finish is going to pad your pockets a little bit here and a little as we get further into the night. But to kind of talk about your season, I know your team kind of dropped off a little bit, but we saw you coming back every week, and you make the championship 5, and like I said, give it one heck of an effort. How would you sum this whole season up, and what were the most exciting points for you?
I thought it was going pretty good there in the beginning. I think I got a win pretty early, kind of locked myself in, and then it gave myself a chance for the rest of the season to kind of relax and take different opportunities. But then right around Thanksgiving time, I ended up spraining my ankle at work, so that laid me up for a good 3 weeks or so. But with all our off weeks, I was lucky enough. I only really missed, I think, 1 race. It was my drop week, I think, or maybe 2, but luckily I was able to get the deadline there to make the championship. And then once that started, it was head to the grindstone, see what I can do to stay in it each week, which was pretty difficult. Secured a couple, 1 win there. It locked me into the final 5, so that was nice, kind of smooth sailing for a couple weeks. And then hitting it. The last week was tough. Cardi had it pretty much locked down. I wish I would have put myself in a better position at the beginning of that race, but I don't know. Just pretty good season overall. Hard fought through injury, but other than that, not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, and you're somebody that's been around a long time with us, and you've won a championship before, so it wasn't surprising for you to get down to it this season. And we look up, and with a few laps to go, and you have a real shot at the championship. Just kind of goes because you as a driver. But before we let you go tonight, you have a season-long list of people and sponsors to thank, I'm sure. So we'll wear out the red carpet for you and let you thank them.
It's a pretty short list. The first one would be Jeff Vickery with Threat Level Midnight over there with Genesis Technologies. They put their name on the side of the truck and make sure that I'm able to show up each week. The team over there with Threat Level, those guys, we work hard each week, practicing and bouncing ideas off each other, trying to make each other better and faster and keep up with the competition, because each year it seems like they get faster and faster too. So there's no laying off there. My wife, of course, she's got to make the list. Without her letting me do it every night, putting my son to bed, making sure I can get in here and practice, wouldn't be possible. That's about it. Short list.
Well, we'll let you celebrate which was a fantastic season and a second place race and points finish tonight. And we look forward to seeing you back on track pretty soon.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. Have a good night.
You too.
And that was our second place finisher, driver of the number 3 in Jeffrey Radke this evening. And we'll talk to at least our third place finisher tonight in Connor Cunningham. Maybe we'll work our way down the championship running order if they allow us going down. But we'll at least talk to third place finisher tonight in the 24 machine in Connor Cunningham. Connor, that was a hard fought race, man. And you gave it your all. Led a bunch of laps early. Unfortunately, it was a speeding penalty that took you out of it in the middle, but you still had a chance at it late. What more could you have done differently?
Probably not have a speeding penalty, if I'm honest, because that was probably the only shot I was going to have, because I was going to try and short pit and pass the leaders just for that strategy and pray that they didn't catch me. But yeah, that would probably be the killer, is the speeding penalty, because you won't be able to get that back unless something happens. But I was surprised that it did happen, because I was going to be okay with getting 10th place. Like, there was nothing else I was going to do. But I'm pretty happy right now after making a comeback of the century for me, I'm saying, because lap down ain't fun. So
Well, absolutely, Connor. It was quite the comeback for you. And even there on the final lap, the final restart, you had a real good chance at James. But all day today, that 24 machine was really fast. What was it about today that just kind of really, all the stars aligned for you to really have a great run today?
I don't know. I didn't really practice at all, except for when the lobby was open for this race. So I spent all the time for long run, so I was trying to figure out how to get around this place. So I think that's probably how I got pretty decent at this place, because I didn't think I was that good, if I'm honest. But turns out I was.
Well, Connor, I know it's not the result you wanted, this season and turning up with no wins, but a lot of great runs, and I know the speed has really been the highlight for the 24 this season. Should you come back next season, what's on your mind? What's on your plate? How many wins? Is there a win number you want to hit? Is there anything that comes to mind in terms of goals next season with, the speed you had this season?
Get to the final 5, because every season I've been in for full time, I've missed it by a couple of points. Next season, I'm going again to the final 5, and that is my goal, and I'm gonna stick to it.
There you go, man. Absolutely.
Can't argue that.
Excuse me, Connor. I'll leave it up to you at this point. Final race of the season. Anyone you have to shout out for making things happen for you this season? The floor is yours.
I want to thank Steel Graphics and Designs for making beautiful paint schemes the entire season. Like, I'm gonna say Park Bros was up on it all this whole season on paint schemes. And I'd like to thank Advent Edge for staying on board the entire season. Thank God they didn't leave me for my terrible finishes. So, Park Rose for bringing me in for the whole season. I appreciate that. Can't think of anything else on my hand. Thanks for y'all for broadcasting in this entire season and dealing with our full crap dealing.
Second
So,
time we've heard that one tonight.
well, yeah, sorry, but yeah, thank y'all for doing this. Really fun.
And that was our third place finisher tonight here at Texas. Connor, congratulations on that third place finish and the run tonight. Best of luck to you in your future endeavors, and if you return with us next season, man.
Thank you.
And there it is. And I'll give him a try, JB, but I don't know if you maybe have anything. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's going to be because of lane bonus points. I think it's going to be fourth place finisher in the championship. Driver number. Oh, actually, we have Lane. We'll go with Lane, then we'll try David. We'll go to third place finisher in the points. Can you confirm? Is that Lane?
That is correct. Yes, Lane
Alright.
Doyle is third.
We'll go ahead and bring him on up. Should he wish to talk to us?
Lane.
Lane, welcome up to the booth. You got a copy, man?
I got you.
Lane, be it as it may be there at the end, it is a third place finish for you on the season. I know the ending not what you had wanted. James alluded to some of it. I guess what more could you have done differently? What could you have done to have avoided, the timing of that incident and how it affected your race?
There is nothing I don't think I could have done there. I ran my race and just, 20 to go, caution comes out. That's something I couldn't control. Drivers in front of me, I think, took 2 tires. I guess I could have taken 2 tires, but other than that, it just seems like one thing after another after 20 laps. Made sure I wasn't going to win this championship tonight. It's not a new feeling. I think I've been screwed in the last race of the championship here in SRN and finished 3rd in the points, so it sucks. I want to make it clear there's no bad will towards Flanagan. We've talked about it. Yeah, just one thing after another. I wasn't winning that race. Oh well. I'll move on. Start racing again.
Well, Lane, you had a lot of speed tonight, and I know it felt like everything kept knocking you down, but that was just it. You kept coming back, and there was a lot of speed just in general with you and your teammate and James tonight. Did you guys put in a lot of time here at Texas together? What was it that really had you guys, up there contending from green flag to checkers?
I put in a lot of AI racing with that new system iRacing's got, where the AI changes to your skill level as you race. That's been excellent for practicing. So I put in maybe 200-300 laps getting ready for the race. Felt like I will say, wrong time. I didn't pay attention to the timing on the schedule, so track was completely different than when I practicing on. But I don't know what Shane Wolf did, but he was fast tonight as well. Those grip hacks, he's got. But no, it was a well planned out race. Not much I could have done differently. That's all.
Well, Elaine, I know it's a part of the format, and this year, of course, the format added a little more, with 2 races in the final round. But I guess if you have the opportunity next season, how do you attack this round any differently? Should you find yourself in the same position? I know it takes a lot of work to just get to that point, so I guess that's giving a lot of steps. But should you find yourself in the same position, what would you, or how would you approach it? Does it change your approach? Going through this scenario, again.
I'm not too sure how I changed my approach, because I just tried to stay consistently in the top 10. Now, of course, last 2 or so races, for some reason people didn't show up even though they've paid money. But I just wanted to stay as consistent as possible. Tonight in Michigan, I raced as aggressive as I could, and at Michigan it paid out. Here it didn't. Plagued by the same issues of caution coming out when I had an advantage of some sort. So that's just racing. I don't know how I changed my attack at this round of 2, or round of 5, just because I think I did everything I could. Just the gamble of racing itself. I didn't roll the right dice this time.
Well, I have good news for you. Because you finished in the top 5 and top 10 a lot, you won both of those bonuses. That's an extra $20.
There you go.
So there you go.
Well,
Yeah, like I said, I'm not upset at anyone, and I'm not unhappy with my finished position. I just know it could have been better, but eventually I'll finish better than 3rd in the championship.
Well, Lane, you do get a good bit of cash to go your way. Is there anything you plan on doing with your extra wad of cash that's going to be heading your way tonight?
Well, I've recently started a new little hobby. I've been making some rings and other accessories. So maybe some new Ryobi tools for that one. Plugging a fake sponsor is a new one for me. And then I don't know. I'll probably treat my family to something because mom and grandma were sitting here watching me. And I'll just probably go to a spa day because I need it after this race, especially. And of course, save up for a trip I got coming out. And other than that, I've got no idea. Savings, especially nowadays. I think that's the best idea I got.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on finishing third on the season, and best luck to you in your future endeavors. And should you return and join us next season, Lane, it's been great having you. It's been great watching you race. Hope you do, come and compete once again next year
100%.
or next season. And yeah, Lane, continue to bring your A game, man. Congratulations on your third place finish. Best luck to you.
Thank you.
And that was driver of the number 47, our third place points finisher this season, Lane Doyle. We'll go and bring down now fourth place finisher in points, David Flanagan, JB.
Mr. Flanagan, we've pulled you into this booth that we have running here because so far we've had a record of talking to everybody that finished in the top 5 in points, and boy, you're the next one we have to get to. So congratulations on your season. Obviously, you for a large amount of that race, you were kind of the guy we were looking at to come home with the championship. Still wind up fourth in the championship, which is a nice payday of $175. So talk to us a little bit about this race. What else did you need to make that happen? And then talk to us about your season as a whole.
Yeah, so just for the incident with me and Lane, I just hadn't gotten a run like that off anybody the whole race like that. It was more like towards like the middle of the straight that you kind of get on someone's back bumper, and when I gained that much speed, I just didn't know what to do with it. And I know I'm not gonna lift, and I hope the guys behind me or racing against me wouldn't lift in that situation because we're all racing hard right there, and I know it's not what anybody wanted to see there because we were fighting literally the whole race, and it was gonna be an awesome finish. And it just sucks for me, sucks for him, and yeah, I just didn't mean to get into him right there. It just had so much momentum and didn't want to kill it, and it's just a momentum track. So with 3 to go, I just judged it wrong, and yeah. But the season as a whole, I started out pretty fresh in the iRacing. I think I was 6 months into iRacing, and then really grinded hard and really raced a lot of officials and got better and met a lot of people that helped me out, and that's who I can thank today. My team over there, JSR and Chrome Racing, all of them boys. Yeah, they really helped me along here and helped me grow and helped me get into the championship 5, and it was a nice, strong end to the season.
Well, David, it was a hard-fought season for you, but you did notch yourself a couple wins. You started to make your name the more races you ran this season, and really emerged as a very fast driver who's not going to just lay over. Should you come back and join us again next season, do you see yourself evolving more, or you think you found your, your place in this series as the Jack Shack Toyota Tundra out there?
As long as Jonathan lets me back in, I'll gladly run.
It's up to me, huh?
I know it's hopefully both being from the Dallas area, it'll cut me some slack.
Okay, I see what you're pulling. I see it. But Jay, as we wanted, the championship race was at Texas, right? So.
But I run a lot of super speedway stuff, so I'm really good at super speedway. So a lot of my iRating caters to that. So I don't know what the cap will be, but I enjoyed the season. I enjoyed the broadcast. I enjoyed watching them back, and I enjoyed bickering with everybody as much as it sounds. But that's just my personality. I don't hate any of these guys at the end of the day, and I like to compete with them. And yeah, that's the season in a whole. It was just really fun, and I'm glad I got to compete with everyone and grow as a racer.
It certainly seemed like it, David. Notched yourself a few wins, got yourself a nice payday here at the end of the season, man. I know 4th place isn't what you wanted, but it's still a great result, especially considering you're, relatively new to iRacing, man. Congratulations, take it and run, and best luck to you next season, man.
Yeah, real quick, shout out again to Jack and Chrome Racing, and of course y'all too for the broadcast. And I know I'll watch it back and be disappointed, but I know it'll be good because we were literally fighting all race up there, and it was awesome. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and shout out Kyle Spees. I am a top 5 driver, buddy.
I love it. That's the right way to wrap up the season, isn't it?
Absolutely. We don't have a Sean Merriman around, but shout out to Sean. He did notch a top 5 finish to close out the season, both in points and on the track. He did finish 5th, so shout out Sean. I guess since we're talking about finishes, JB, let's go through our race results one last time this season, shall we? It is, of course, James Shainwolf, the winner and the champion of this evening here at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Jeffrey Radke will finish 2nd. Connor Cunningham in 3rd. Jason Kratke 4th. Sean Merriman 5th. David Flanagan 6th. Chris Luttrell 7th. Drake Carty 8th. JB, why don't you take us to the second half?
Dan Park comes from 9th. Lane Doyle 10th. Jason Green 11th. Joe Ruggles Jr. 12th. Scott Kalal 13th. Andrew Harris 14th. And Ben Park rounded out the 15 truck field that was here for the season finale.
And quite the season it was, JB. I mean, a lot of fun this season. So many different kinds of races. Last week, we got our first oval, last week. First oval race that went flag to flag, caution free. And we had different kinds of races all day. We had the chaotic ones. We had the fun ones. We had the roadies, that were also caution free. Great battle at Watkins Glen. Oh my goodness. Close
there's
finishes.
There's going to be a lot of clips that I have to go back and take off some of the broadcasts for highlights, but just an amazing season. I mean, it's work. Not everybody realizes how much happens behind the scene to make what we do possible, but every time we get to crown a champion and we hear the excitement in the voices of the guys that get to take home the paydays like James Shainwolf, it reminds us kind of why we put in that work and what we do. And there's exciting things coming. A couple weeks ago we talked about the ARCA series. That's going to kind of be our fun summer series that bridges the gap just between our main seasons. And looking forward to that because, ARCA and SRN have never crossed paths before. So just excited to see what the future holds there. And then, spending this off season working on doing all the little things better, increasing our driver pool and hopefully having another really successful season in season 8, but just to sum up season 7, it had a little bit of everything. It was the longest season we've had at 24 races, and it was definitely 24 unique ones, but a lot of deserving drivers that got to win a lot of money and good people that we got to come hang out with at least once a week.
Absolutely, JB, and I think that's another thing that still kind of has to resonate with me. 7 seasons, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
7.
You and I both
It's
drove for a
before
bunch of those
SRN.
seasons too.
Yeah, and some of us were around before it was Speed Racing Network, so we're dating back to almost 9 seasons now.
Yeah, if you're counting MSM, yeah.
It's right. So we're getting up there. Season 8 is the next one up. My goal is to make it to 10, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I'm super excited about what the future holds, and this season did teach us a lot. We're going to go back to the drawing board and make a few changes that I think can help the overall product a lot. But as you heard from some of our drivers this evening, it's something fun they get to do every week, and it's good competition. And they have teammates that they love to come hang out with for a couple hours, and that's what this is all about. So our job's to try to keep that going and keep providing that opportunity. And do a good job broadcasting it. So Emerson, thank you for your service to us this season and bringing us a bunch of these great shows from the producer side of things, which, as I know from experience, is a job in of itself. It takes multiple hands and multiple sets of eyes sometimes, but you did a fantastic job. Earlier we mentioned Jim coming in handling the race control with us. Another guy that just stepped in this season, did a great job. So time to retool, re-rack, have some fun this summer with some ARCA cars, and then come back for season 8 and crown another champion.
Absolutely. And I want to touch on, what you said, coming and having fun, man, because yes, $500, that is a big deal. And that's ultimately what everyone's racing for, is the big 500 at the end of the season. But on a week-to-week basis, we're talking $30 a race. If you're not out here having fun, why are you here? It's a great time. And you can tell the guys that they get with, as it is a sim. At the end of the day, it is pixels, right? There's some money attached to those pixels. Don't get me wrong, but man, we're all here having a good time. We're doing, what we love, in the comfort of our own homes, wearing whatever we want, and it's a great time. I think that's something people shouldn't lose sight of when it comes to sim racing in general, but especially in this league and similar leagues. But with that being said, there's a whole bunch of partners we have to give huge shout outs to this season, JB. Of course, the series namesake in HairClub. Take control of your hair loss at HairClub. Our Total Hair Solutions can help you keep, regrow, or restore your hair. Speak with our hair loss specialists today and use code SRN10 to save 10% on your order. ThermoPro produces the best wireless meat thermometers and digital hygrometers for household use. ThermoPro supplied some of the largest brands you see on the market today, working behind the scenes as a manufacturer, now providing customers with top quality products at very competitive prices without sacrificing functionality or quality. Make sure to use ThermoPro Team for 15% off of your order. Admin Box is built by iRacers for iRacers, with the goal being to make race control as easy as possible. Each admin box connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands for race control, driver function, and pit options. It has LED backlight to make buttons highly visible in any situation. And make sure you use code SRN-box, that is BOXX, to save 10% off of your admin box order. And Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Established in 2016, they offer many different options to help take your sim racing career to the highest levels of iRacing. With over 50,000 customers worldwide, they have got the tools you need to compete with the best sim racers iRacing has to offer. Make sure to use code SPEEDNETWORK15 to save 15% on your order. Shout out to all of our social media outlets. Our Facebook page at facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our X page at Speed Racing Net, or Instagram at Speed Racing Network, the YouTube channel, of course, where more than likely you are watching, and thank you all so much for the support on it. youtube.com/Speed Racing Network. Go ahead and give the broadcast a like, go ahead and subscribe, and check out the nice features you can get if you join the SRN membership program as well. Our Twitch at Speed Racing Net, our LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network, and of course the website where you can find all sorts of news, schedules, points, and all rule book, how to join, where the Discord is, other social media links, everything you need to know, how to pay, all that jazz is waiting for you at speedracingnetwork.com. JB, any final thoughts as we close the curtains on?
Not really. I think we
Crazy
got it all
season.
out. I got some people to write some checks to, so
Yeah, you
that's
do.
what I'm off to do. But we'll be back online pretty shortly.
Well, to close out this season, it's been a fun one for sure. That'll do it here from virtual Texas Motor Speedway and all the 24 different venues we hit virtually this season. Want to thank you guys, the viewers, for tuning in and joining us each and every week, especially for tonight's action, but this season's action and all of the action here at Speed Racing Network. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast and all of the product that we have put on through this season and seasons past. Make sure you stay tuned and stay glued to all of our social media outlets for updates and news on future broadcasts and future seasons. If you're watching, you're getting a rig and getting iRacing, you want to join, look to that as well. we'll be having all of that on our social media outlets. But from all of us at Speed Racing Network, again, a huge shout out to all of the admin JB has here to help, run everything. Jim, here every week, and Jack here every week. And of course, for us, Jonathan, the man that runs the show, and myself, Emerson Arden. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.